we need to talk.
On our second day in Bangkok, we got scammed, and this is the video about that experience.
This was one of the weirdest experiences we had in Bangkok, and at the time we couldn't really work out how a scam like this actually worked. I think you can see in the footage that we feel like something is up, but we're not really putting two and two together and actually working it out. It wasn't until a few days later, when something like this happened to us again and again and again, that we realised this was probably more common than we thought it was.
We're usually people who are quite cautious and are aware of scams and things that like can catch us out, and we do trust our guts in these situations. So I'm not really sure what happened here. Mainly, I don't think we both could work out how it was a scam, and I still can't work out how it was a scam, to be honest, because like we didn't spend any more money than we would have done, we didn't buy anything, and our tuk-tuk ride was really cheap.
So the way this worked, when we were walking down to Wat Arun, we got approached on the street by a friendly guy. He gave us a rundown of some sights to see in the city and recommended that we go see some other sights because Wat Arun was closed.
Can I also just point out that this man looked like just a random guy on the street. He wasn't like, he was just walking along. He wasn't stood by him, like he wasn't stood waiting. He was just walking along and then just picked up a conversation with us.
He also told us that it was really good that we arrived when we did because there was a big push to kind of boost tourism in Bangkok. And as part of that, the government was having a special sale on petrol, which meant tuk-tuks were only 40 baht per day. We also heard a slightly different version of this story a few days later, telling us that the temples were closed in the morning and we should go see some other things while we wait for them to open, or that there was a large protest happening downtown in the way we were going, so we didn't want to walk, we needed to get a tuk-tuk to avoid the protest.
Which was actually really a bit scary, right? Because we did some digging and we couldn't see anything about a protest, so we were pretty sure he was wrong. But if you're worried about your safety in a city you don't know and you don't want to stumble in or something that could be potentially quite, I don't know, dangerous, it's kind of off-putting when people are telling you don't go that way because something dangerous is gonna
happen to you.
Yeah, and you don't know what to believe.
Yeah. And the kind of bow on top of it was the guy wrote us a nice handwritten list of places to check out, hailed us a tuk-tuk, confirmed with us that it was only going to be 40 baht and sent us on our way. And
also this tuk-tuk wasn't just waiting on the side of the road for him to like be called over. This tuk-tuk was just driving down the road and he stopped him. So to us, they weren't working together to like scam us. Like it was just like a random guy on the street and a random tuk-tuk. So to us, like something seemed a bit odd, but we just couldn't figure it, like we couldn't work out how that would be a thing.
So see if you can spot the moments in the footage where we start to realise things are a little bit strange. That does come through, and above all, just enjoy our naivety on this day.
So sometimes life takes its own path and intervenes in your plans. We were planning to go to the Wat Pho temple today, but we stopped we ran into this lovely guy who started talking to us and giving us some tips. We ended up in a tuk-tuk and now we're at a different temple. I don't know, I'm thoroughly confused, but I'm happy to be here.
It's kind of strange to end up somewhere you know absolutely nothing about. I'm sure we're going to have to put some researchy bits and do some voiceover to try and explain what this is, but it looks like at the top you can kind of go inside the Buddha, maybe? We've made it up the first set of stairs, and inside there is more stairs.
I wasn't expecting a workout this morning.
Shoes off? Shoes off. More stairs. I think the most interesting bit about this is we have absolutely no idea where we are or what this is.
Sometimes the unexpected visits are the best ones. I don't think this was even on our list of things to come to, and we've ended up here. It's beautiful. We climbed up to the temple The views were amazing. You could see like all of Bangkok. What a good tip from that random guy.
What a great morning.
And now we're going to continue on our tour of Mystique. We have no idea what's going on. We're not even sure how much this is costing. We think it's 40 baht, but it seems real too cheap for it to be that. Ready? So let's find out what happens next.
So just to add to what Gemma said, the guy that we got in the tuk-tuk with, we expected to jump out here and then pay him and be on our way. But he insisted on staying around and said that he was going to wait for us. So now we have our tuk-tuk driver waiting for us somewhere outside to take us somewhere new. Today seemed to just be a day for meeting awesome people.
Yeah, there was a man who was visiting the temple and he just sat and talked to us and gave us loads of tips and advice, and it was just super lovely.
Yeah.
We're having a good day.
Yeah, it's a very good day. And it's nice to just go with the flow and see what happens.
Yeah, it is. My philosophy on this trip, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And we've just been told as well with a hot tip that there is a reclining Buddha around the back of this temple. A sitting Buddha, sorry. So we're going to go and see if we can find that now. It was about this point that we realised that something was seriously up. The next two spots were a total bust. We went to a tourism office as we were recommended. We actually wanted to book a train and a slow boat here, but we ended up getting some 3-week package holiday pushed on us, and the guy had 101 excuses as to why we had to buy it now and we couldn't come back. It's odd though, because it was a legitimate tourism office and had a license number, so as far as we can tell it is a government-owned tourist office. We didn't end up buying anything. We then jumped back in the tuk-tuk again and ended up going to one of the canal points where you can jump on and travel down the Bangkok Canal. And we were warned by the guy on the street that you shouldn't overpay for this. 3,000 is the foreigner fee and you should pay a much more reasonable local fee. And it was 3,000 when we showed up and we couldn't negotiate it down. So we just ended up paying our tuk-tuk driver. We expected at this point to overpay him, and he just wanted 40 baht, so actually we tipped him and we went on our way.
And to be honest, I think I'm happy that we did tip him, because like when we got tuk-tuks going from that point, they were all way more expensive. So he spent like 2 hours with us and only charged us 40 baht. So again, this is like, how is this a scam?
How does this scam work?
Like, we just
got a really cheap tuk-tuk ride all day.
I don't get it. But it did, when we kind of figured it out, and the next day when we went out into Bangkok and got stopped again and told that the temples were closed and what we wanted, and there were protests and all of this kind of stuff, it did really leave a sour taste in our mouth. We went back to our hotel and we're like, right, we're actually going to check this with our receptionist, and she was like, no, there's no protest. And it really made us feel so dumb and really like, it left us with a negative impression of our experiences in the city. Like after that morning, we felt like, oh, the last two stops were a bit of a bust, but we had a really good morning and we have met like really lovely people up at this point. And on reflection, it's left a really bad taste in our mouth because you feel like you've been taken advantage of. But again, I still, like, to this day, I cannot work out how this is a scam, right?
Yeah.
We saw scams up online about like a tuk-tuk could take you to a jewelry shop and then like kind of force you to buy something from the jewelry store. But this didn't happen to us. We got taken to a tourism office. We were able, like, we declined. Like, we got taken to a boat. We declined. We didn't spend any money we did not want to. We got a cheap tuk-tuk ride.
Saw some temples that we wouldn't have normally seen.
So all in all, we're trying to take a good impression from this. Like, we did have a good time. Yeah, we did get scammed, but nothing bad happened. It just left us feeling a bit dumb and a bit naive.
So both a good and bad result from today. We are back on the street walking back to our hotel.
Yeah, so our tuk-tuk driver, really nice. Only charged us 40 baht the whole thing, so we gave him a bit more.
Yes.
Because he waited around for us for ages and was really nice.
Yeah, it's a lovely guy. And see, he seemed genuinely really
Helpful.
grateful and really helpful. So yeah, that was good.
And we got advice from the guy who we met at the temple and also the guy who stopped us on the street to go to the government transit people because there's a 20% off this week if you book with them. But we went and I really didn't like that experience. My gosh, we weren't planning to book anything today. So I think if we'd gone in knowing what we were going to book, it would have been a bit easier. But I think we went in being like, okay, we're just going to book the sleeper train to Chiang Mai and maybe the slow boat to Laos. And we went in and he planned this whole 2-week itinerary for us and was like, you can't book things separately, you have to book it all together. And then when we were like, okay, well, we need to go away and think about it, he was like, well, I close at 3. Okay, no, I close at 2.
Yeah.
I have appointments the whole afternoon, you have to do it now. And I was just like, no, I'm not booking this now without any thought.
Yeah.
When it's like the whole week and a half left of our travels.
Yeah, it's just not how we really operate, so.
Yeah, and especially because it was like, oh, you need to do this trekking, but I want to go to like the elephant sanctuary. And like, I don't really want to go to Pai, and he was like planning those things in and wasn't really like giving us leeway, but was saying it was flexible.
Yeah, it wasn't the best experience. I'm sure if you went in with more of a plan, you'd probably have better luck than we did, but for us, we were blindsided. That was a bit of a miss, and it was a shame because the morning was off to a pretty good start. Yeah, and then we wanted to go to the floating market because the tuk-tuk driver was saying that Wat Pho, where we originally planned to go, was closed until 1 o'clock today, but that price was too expensive. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, the first guy we met actually recommended us the expensive tourist price is 3,000. And don't pay that. And not to pay that. And when we went, that was what we were being quoted. And again, it was very much like, I feel like if there's a printout, like a laminated piece of paper with instructions and pictures on what's gonna happen, it's more of like a tourist kind of expensive thing to do. So we're not going to write off the floating market, and we're not going to write off taking a boat through the Bangkok Canal, but we need to find a better way of doing it. Yeah, I agree. But what I would recommend is just getting a tuk-tuk and getting them to drive you around, because 1, that was really fun, 2, our driver was really nice, and 3, today apparently is like a government funded petrol thing. Free petrol. So it only cost us 40 baht. We paid him more because like we felt bad just paying him 40 baht. Yeah. But like 2 hours of us just driving us around, so. It's pretty good. And also, when you're driving around in the tuk-tuk, there's a lot of wind, it's really cooling, and honestly, it's super nice. Yeah. So now we're gonna go find some lunch, hopefully find something good, and then we have something very exciting to do this evening, so stay tuned. So our kind of advice for this video is just watch out if you're going exploring. A kind of general rule of thumb would be if someone approaches you and offers you something, maybe just politely decline it. If you want something, you approach someone else, and then like you're kind of more in control of that situation. But yeah, sometimes life happens. And that's okay, but always just trust your gut as well. So that was our scam experience in Bangkok, but luckily we picked ourselves up, and a day can always be saved by a great meal and a couple of drinks at the hotel. So that's how we ended our time in Bangkok. Hopefully this video helps you. Hopefully it helps you avoid getting scammed. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to avoid further scams. Sorry if it's a bit clickbaity, but it did leave us feeling a bit like, darn, we got scammed. And hopefully this helps you just be aware and just avoid it happening to you. We go home together last night. Yeah, team order, but then you go home. So what's our dinner plans tonight?
So we have come to Try Me Bangkok.
Yes.
And it is a place we went to yesterday, and they do delicious Thai food. And we came back today because we had such a good time. The owners are super lovely, food is great, and we're we're going to try a lot more things today.
So I've somehow managed to be in Thailand for 3 days, 2 days, 3 days out without having pad thai. So tonight I'm going for the pad thai, and we're also going to try out the spring rolls because we're told the chef here has been on Thai TV a few times and spring rolls are their specialty. So we're going to try those out too. And Gemma, what have you ordered?
I went for a massaman curry because I had a pad thai yesterday. I had a noodle soup this afternoon, so I want something a little bit different, so I've gone for a massaman curry.
So the first course is here, and these are khao soy spring rolls. I play too. Best pad thai in Thailand. Let's see.
Oh, it's your first.
And it's a good pad thai. If that all is good, we're going to be in for some great food in Thailand.
I've got this like a massive bit of chicken.
Yeah. Stick at the camera in Gemma's face. How is that massaman? Real good. So Gemma, what did you think of the food?
I loved it. Oh my gosh, those khao soy spring rolls were like the best things I've ever eaten.
Actually to die for. They are one of the best things we've had in Asia so far, let alone in Thailand.
Yeah, honestly, I just bit into it and I was like,
Ooh.
the choir of angels started singing. And also my massaman curry, like the portion was huge and it was, I ate all of it. It was so tasty.
Yeah, it's rare. I don't often see you finish a meal. But
yeah, I left some rice. But I devoured it. It was, I think, the best massaman curry I've ever had.
yeah, and the pad thai, oh, definitely the best pad thai I've ever had.
Yeah.
Which is, well, pretty good praise. I eat a lot of noodles, especially in England, so very, very good times.
We would recommend, if you're in Bangkok, to come over to Try Me Bangkok,
Yes.
which is near Khao San Road. So
Perfect place as well.
a link in the description down below, and we recommend it.
And now we're going to finish up our evening with a couple drinks on the rooftop bar, and we'll see you there. So we're here up on the rooftop bar.
Thank you.
Ooh. Some aesthetic lighting as well. Fantastic. What we
We
need
can do disco lights.
is that. So we're here up on the rooftop of the Four Monkeys Hotel, which is where we are staying. Look out for the room tour, which may or may not have already happened, depending on when this video gets posted.
Hopefully not that long.
Hopefully. If working in Thailand goes to plan. But it's happy hour out here, so we thought we'd take advantage of it, and Gemma is having her first Mai Tai. That's the Mai Tai dance. So we've been in Bangkok for a couple days, and today was the first time we went out and actually experienced the tourist scene and tried to do some temples, tried to do the normal touristy stuff. And Gemma, how would you rate it?
I really like Bangkok. I kind of came here with no expectations. Thailand was actually a place that I was tempted to skip, and I am so pleasantly surprised. I think everyone has been really friendly and chatty. Like especially the guy we met at the temple. He was just a random guy from the street, and he sat down and talked to us for 15 minutes about the temple and things like that. And also, like, yeah, the owners from Try Me Thai, they're so nice as well, and they were saying that they're going away, but if they were longer that they would invite us out, and like, that's really nice. And the random guy on the street who ended up getting us in the tuk-tuk, I feel like it seemed as if we were getting like scammed or something, but actually like the tuk-tuk did only cost us 40 baht, and he didn't have like any ulterior motives. He was just chatting to us and then just got us a tuk-tuk. So I feel like there are scams in Thailand, and I think that's something to be aware of as a tourist, but like everyone seems really friendly and everyone seems really nice, and I think the city is really interesting and different to the cities we've been to already, and I really like it.